How's everybody today? Good. Well, I think the first thing I'd say is that there was a significant amount of improvement from last week's scrimmage to this week's scrimmage in terms of ability to execute, consistency in performance. We made a lot more big plays. I was very pleased with the way the ones played on both sides of the ball. I was not really that pleased with the way the twos played. I think there were times when they lost their poise and their ability to execute because we did play the first 50 or 60 plays just like a game. And that seemed to get those guys a little bit out of sorts to have to play game-like situation, respond and react to things that happened. The offense scored several touchdowns on big plays, the first offense against the two defense. The two defense didn't show much poise, and the two offense didn't show much poise in what their ability to execute was, which means that at the end of the day, since you're playing against yourself, you're pleased with the ones. You felt pretty good about what they were able to accomplish, and we probably didn't. We need more players to be able to go out there and consistently execute at their position. And it's as simple as that. There's not enough attention to detail. There's not enough discipline and eye control and assignment and technique to execute the assignment. And, you know, I think sometimes with the older guys, we had a lot of practice and haven't played a game. You know, familiarity with things breeds relaxation, which we certainly don't want to let happen. We want the guys to keep their intensity and their sense of urgency, and it's challenging this time of year. But we want our young players to learn how to do that and do it on a consistent basis so they can play at a higher level and have a higher standard and expectation. I think a lot of young players compete against the other guys they're playing against rather than competing against themselves to be as good as they can be and focus on the things that they need to do so that they can be the best player they can be at their position. You know, I don't think we had any significant injuries today. Julio twisted his ankle, but he had a twisted ankle and it's nothing serious. He was productive in the scrimmage. Trent Richardson sprained his shoulder a little bit, but, you know, I think he'll be okay. I don't think we really had anybody else that had a problem.
Just following up a little bit on Julio, was he able to go very much at all? And if not, who kind of stepped up at receiver when he wasn't able to go?
Well, I don't, you know, I think all the receivers made an improvement this week. You know, Mays has made some plays. He made a couple big plays yesterday in practice and did a pretty good job today. Mark had 3 or 4 catches for like 91 yards today. Made some big plays. Mark Ingram as a back, you know, coming out of the backfield. You know, Greg threw for 295 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Julio only caught 3 of them for 84 yards. So, you know, there's quite a few other guys contributing. And, you know, Norwood made a big play today, freshman. So there's quite a few guys contributing. I think that probably Hanks and Mays, Earl Alexander, Mike McCoy, those guys have probably been the guys that most consistently show progress. I've been pleased with the tight ends and their development. You know, Michael Williams made a nice catch today, had another one down the middle that he dropped. But, you know, we have some guys that are making plays, so we want to continue to work on that and develop that. I think it's going to be important to the balance that we create in our offense.
Go ahead, Coach. Last week you mentioned that you were pleased with how Star Jackson did in the first scrimmage. Can you comment on how he did out there today?
Well, I think him and Thomas Dare both have sort of shown their experience a little bit in the last 2 scrimmages and in practice. Thomas has probably done a little bit better job of executing in the passing game, but yet Starr has done a good job of running the offense and making plays in other ways. So, we're kind of pleased with the way those two guys are developing. We need to get them more experience, and I'm sure that it would probably enhance us a little bit to do what they could do when they're in there, rather than just having them do what we're doing right now, if that makes any sense. Well, I think that there's a big improvement not only in the first group, but actually in the second group. I think a big improvement from last week to this week. I think we still are looking to make progress with that group, with the continuity of the group, and our ability to sustain with consistency. I think that's probably the biggest thing. I think all the guys that we have that are out there playing right now are capable. I just think we got to play with confidence and develop some unity and togetherness in the group so that they can feel good about how they go and execute in the first game. But I think they have made good progress, and we're not disappointed in the progress that they've made. But we realize that we need to continue to improve, especially, opening with a very good defensive team that Virginia Tech has. We'll tell you after we evaluate this film and give you some idea on Monday, at least who's in competition.
Yeah, Coach, we've talked some about the safeties. I wanted to ask about the cornerbacks, how they're doing as a group.
Well, I think Javi and Kareem Jackson are doing really well. Marquise Mays, he's another guy. He actually got a little head sting out there today, which about halfway through the scrimmage, but he'll be fine. He doesn't have any significant problem. We just held him out. But those three guys, I think, have done really well. Dre Kirkpatrick was doing extremely well before. B.J. Scott has made progress. Chris Rogers has experience. So, we've made pretty good progress, with that group. I'm still a little bit concerned about our consistency, totally in the back end. I think in the last few days, we need to cut down on our errors and do a little bit better job of focusing and executing and not giving up big plays.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask about Darius Hanks. I know for the last couple of years, the reports on him from practice have been he's been pretty impressive out there at times. What do you think he needs to do to translate that into game action? And what have you
Well,
kind
he
of seen from him?
played quite a bit last year, so he got enough playing time to not think that the guy's sort of, going to be doing something he's never done before. He got quite a bit of experience last year, and, he plays with a lot more toughness now. He's a lot more physical. He's a little stronger. He's got really good hands, and he's very athletic. And I think he's playing with confidence right now. And I think he can make plays for us, and as a guy that we want to continue to develop, and I think he will make plays.